It's Zena, your best friend who loves horror, back in the horror library. Happy spooky season, guys. We finally made it to the most magical time of the year, and I want us to start celebrating. So we're going to be talking about the best Halloween parties in horror. I'm going to be sharing with you all my top 5. So the first one I want to talk about, we have to highlight the awesomeness of the early 2000s. So we're going to be talking about the werewolf flick, Ginger Snaps. In this Canadian movie, it focuses on two outcast, death-obsessed sisters and their suburban neighborhood who must deal with the tragic consequences when one of them is bitten by a ferocious werewolf. This movie is loved by so many and is considered a classic. At least I do, so that's what we're gonna go with. Plus, there's an awesome Halloween party that is called the Greenhouse Bash. That is such a cool name. Minus the drugs and the wild werewolf girl running around killing people, it honestly seemed like it would have been a good time. Number 2, I want to talk about House 2, the second story, 1987. The brand new owner of a sinister house gets involved with reanimated corpses and demons searching for an Aztec skull with magical powers. I'm actually a huge fan of the first house from 1986, but you know what? The sequel has nothing to do with the first one at all, which really isn't a bad thing. So there's basically these people who move into a mansion that's been in their family for generations. I won't get, too detailed with it or anything like that, but they end up finding an old photo of this one guy's great-grandfather, and he's at this Mayan temple with this really cool looking crystal skull. Like, it's the type of skull that I would probably want in my house. But clearly it's not just a crystal skull, okay? It has magical powers. Anyhow, they come across this corpse and this corpse tries to kill them. But it's not just any kind of like zombie corpse. It is a cowboy zombie, okay? And not just only that, but he just so happens to be one of the dudes in the house, his grandpa. So they even start calling him Gramps. It's kind of cute. He's actually a really cool character. This movie has it all. It has a spooky mansion, dinosaurs, time travel. It even has something that's called a dog a pillar. So I'll just leave it at that. You need to watch this so you can find out if you have no idea what I'm talking about. There's a Halloween party that's being thrown in the mansion, and Gramps, he actually blends right in because everyone's in costume and stuff, so it just kind of works out. But yeah, the party looked like it was a good time. I would have for sure wanted to be at that party. Why not? Moving on to number 3, I have another werewolf movie. We're going to be talking about I Was a Teenage Werewolf from 1957. A scientist uses a temperamental teenager as a guinea pig for a serum which transforms him into a vicious werewolf. So you have Tony. He's this troubled teen. He's always getting into fights with everyone. The movie actually opens up where he's at school and he's fighting with someone. So it already sets the tone. Like, he has issues with everybody. So after a fight that he has at school, he's advised to talk to a psychologist. And this psychologist just so happens to be a practitioner of hypnotherapy. This movie was released in the 1950s, so it does have like a campy drive-in tone to it, but do not let that stray you away from checking out this movie. I still feel like it's a good time, and if you're someone who don't really like checking out like older movies, I think that you might have fun with this one. It has great pacing, it's entertaining, like even with the dialogue, I still feel like it's just easy to follow, that you won't get bored. At least I wasn't bored. I didn't feel the need to take out my phone. And my favorite scene just so happens to take place during the Halloween bash, and that's where Tony, when he becomes a werewolf, and he really gets especially brutal during that scene. On to number 4, we're going to be talking about the supernatural psychological horror I Am Not a Serial Killer from 2016. In a small Midwestern town, a troubled teen with homicidal tendencies must hunt down and destroy a supernatural killer while keeping his own inner demons at bay. So this movie is actually based off of Dan Wells' novel from 2009. I haven't read it yet, but, and I say yet because I do plan on reading it because this movie is really intriguing. This is another movie with a teenager, those angsty teenagers. I was gonna say teenagers. Oh my God, okay. Anyway, so you have this teenager named John Wayne Cleaver, and he has like these sociopathic tendencies and homicidal visions. And he does his best keeping it at bay because of his intense therapy. But after multiple people in his town are murdered, John has a hard time, controlling his murderous urges. I have to be honest with you, I kind of went in blind. I didn't really know anything about it, but I absolutely love the fact that it has multiple subgenres in it. I love horror that is not afraid to include other subgenres. So you have like psychological drama, slasher, and even creature. There's like an element of creature feature in there. So I'll admit, when it comes to this one, Halloween isn't the main focus, but there is a Halloween dance, and it definitely adds to the tone of this movie. It has like a whole spooky vibe going on throughout the whole film, and just the Halloween dance, it adds vibes. We're all about vibes. So we made it to our final movie, and we're going to be talking about The Guest from 2014. A soldier introduces himself to the Peterson family, claiming to be a friend of their son who died in action. After the young man is welcomed into their home, a series of accidental deaths seem to be connected to his presence. Technically, this is not a horror movie, but I love it. And I just want to break the rules. I want to do whatever I want to do. But seriously, this movie, no, it isn't technically a horror movie, but it does have horror elements, and I love the movie, so I wanted to talk about it. Like other movies on my list, this one has a crazy Halloween dance scene, and it's a little bit different compared to to the other movies, because this dance is empty. So before all the dead bodies started to pile up in this town, we had Micah Monroe's character just wearing fire outfits for no reason. Guys, tell me why her work uniform just looked amazing. I would wear that on a regular day. It's crazy. Then her Halloween costume was super cute. On top of that, plus this electronic lo-fi music that just rocks my existence. When I first saw the movie, it rocked my life. So afterwards, when I rewatch it, it rocks my life. That's my list of the best Halloween parties in horror. As always, I'm interested in knowing which movies or even series would be on your list. Feel free to comment below. I like to know what you're thinking, what's going on. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it a lot, and I will see you next time. Teenagers. I was gonna say teenagers. Oh my god. Okay.